July 29th, and it has been a long time since I have talked to you guys. And while I really don't have a lot of time right now to podcast, I wanted to at least make a little vlogcast for this week, even though this would normally have been a podcast week, and at least get something and say hello to you guys and get it out there. Yeah, it's been really hectic and busy, and there's been a lot of stuff going on as I've been getting settled into the new house, the new career, all of that stuff. And so I just wanted to touch base with you and let you know what I've been up to and give you a little bit of a vlog for this coming week. So 2 weeks ago, I was away on the shore of Lake Huron in Michigan for a retreat for my licensing school, and I got to get together with 19 other local pastors who are going through the same process as I am, as well as 5 instructors. And it was a really, really intense week. Our days started at 7:30 in the morning and they didn't end until 8:30 in the evening, and they were really trying to cram in as much information as possible into those sessions. And so there was no vlog casting because all it was class, nonstop. I had actually recorded a podcast before I left, but due to some things that were going on, I never uploaded that. So I decided just to scrap it and just to keep going like it never happened, I guess. And so that's what I'm doing. There's been some personal stuff that's been going on that's been distracting me a lot in addition to the new career. And so time-wise, the dog is nosing the table. So time-wise, I haven't had gobs of it for knitting or really for much of anything other than those particular things. But I think that is all calming down now, and it should be over with next week. And so hopefully life can kind of resume some sense of normalcy. So that's kind of been what's been going on with me and with my life. The preaching and the serving of these churches is going really, really well. I've preached 3 Sundays now. Tomorrow will be the 4th. And everything has been really well received that I have said. People have been giving me a lot of positive feedback, and I felt like things have been going really well. And even beyond just the time in the pulpit, I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, which is a good thing. And I am really happy doing it. And I realized for the first time maybe in my life, I am really truly happy and being fulfilled by my career, and that's kind of a huge thing. It doesn't leave much time for reading. I am still knitting at night and watching shows because my brain is just so full with all of the reading that I'm doing for studying and for sermon preparation and for school. Leisurely reading just is not happening. So with that in mind, I am considering redoing the format of the podcast. And I still want to do these vlogcasts in the off weeks, but I'm thinking of kind of taking it away from being a 2-component podcast to, when I've finished a book, I'll talk about the book as part of it, but making it more a little bit knitting focused. And so the podcast is probably going to get a bit of a revamp in the coming weeks. So I have to think about how I want to do that, and you might not see a podcast for a little while, but I want to keep getting vlogcasts out there and at least keep touching base with you guys. I've been woefully horrible with Instagram as well, but like I said, now that that big week of classes is done and I just have weekends left, I think I'll find that I've got a little bit more time that I can make for this, and it's time that I want to make for this. So that's kind of what's been going on with me. Like I said, knitting, I still make it a point to do every evening, but I don't have gobs and gobs of time to do it. And I've been doing that while I've been watching shows or catching up on podcasts, and I'm really behind on podcasts right now. But I wanted to get caught up on Game of Thrones because the new season just came out. And I had this thing with Game of Thrones where I wasn't going to watch these seasons because George R.R. Martin had not finished the books. And I was really kind of irritated with George R.R. Martin because I'm thinking, you created this incredible world and all this lore and all of this dynamic, and you're just gonna give your story over to other people? What's up with that? And as a person who has written novels and tried to create worlds and appreciates how difficult and how time-consuming that is, I can't imagine handing my creation over to somebody else and be like, you finish it. But I've gotten over that, because I realize now that George R.R. Martin may never finish Game of Thrones or The Song of Fire and Ice. So I might as well see how someone else interprets it. So I had watched up through season 5 before, and I went back and re-watched season 5 and then watched season 6, and now I'm caught up with season 7, which is the current season. And I've been doing that on like my days off. That's like been my thing. Like after I'm done, like, okay, I'm just gonna veg and binge watch this show. And I can't believe I've managed to successfully give myself that time off to do it. But I'm happy that I did. So that's what I've been watching as I've been knitting the last few weeks. So I haven't finished any projects knitting wise. I'm really close to being done on 2 pairs of socks, and I will show you those. The first pair is just a pair of plain vanilla socks, which are these. This is Knit Picks Felici. When they cleared it out the last time and I bought a whole bunch of them. This is the Pinata colorway, and I'm doing contrasting heels, cuffs, and toes for this. And this is, so the colorway is Pinata, and then this is just Knit Picks Stroll in the Dandelion colorway. So I have 1 sock done, and I'm actually on the decreases for the toe for the second sock. So I'm like super close to being done with these. And these have been like movie knitting, and they were knitting when I was getting moved and all of that stuff. So I think I showed these on my last podcast, but I don't remember. But when I took Phil to see Cars 3, this happened. It's a little hole. It doesn't appear to be a dropped stitch, so I'm not really sure what I did with it. So I think I can just sew it up and be done with it. And I just need to sit down and finish this toe, because this will take me like no time at all to finish these and just get these done and get them off the needles. So those are super close to being done. The other pair of socks that I've been working on that are, I don't think I had started when I podcast before. And these are one of the New York Sock Collection socks from Mina Phillip, the Knitting Expat podcast, and these are the Times Square socks, and so I have one of those done. And this is this colorway is from the Harry Potter Club from Forbidden Woolery, the Hufflepuff colorway, which is actually knitting up a lot nicer than I thought it would. It did not look that great, like caked up or skeined up, but it's doing this nice like striping thing, and so I do kind of like it now that it's actually being worked up. It's got like a mock cable going up it, and this yarn has yak in it, and it's the first time I've ever knit with yak, and it's really soft, and who would have known that yak would have been so soft? I don't know, I've never touched a yak. And then this is where I am on the second sock. I'm about halfway through the foot. So I want to get these done by Monday so that I can submit these for Inside Number 23's her Harry Potter knit along, which I have so far, despite all of the madness and the chaos, managed to submit one finished object every month for that. And I should be able to do it because I am done. I'm pretty much done for the day with what I need to do for church, and now I can just kind of unwind for the rest of Saturday. And I think I can get this done because these knits up really, really quickly. So one last thing, and then I will be done chatting with you for right now. I have been working on my Zanone top, which is a pattern by Andy Satterland, and this is it's a summer top that has short sleeves, and I'm knitting it out of Knit Picks Lindy Chain, which is a cotton linen blend. And I did get the back part done. So it's this really pretty lace, and now that I'm holding this up and looking at it, I'm really excited about finishing it. So I did the back, and then now I've done the front left portion is complete, and now I'm working on the front right portion. And I'm not very far on that part. And I think once I'm done with this portion and we just get into where it's just not stockinette around, it's gonna go really, really, really quickly. And I'm enjoying it, and I want to get it done because I would like to at least wear it once or twice before it gets cold again, because it's almost August and it's Michigan, and September it starts to cool off pretty quickly. So I'm hoping that I can get that done and get moved on to something else. I will be back with you again later on in this week. You'll see me popping in and out, and well, not popping in and out because this will all be put together into one thing, but it'll be one vlogcast. So that's all I've got for today on Saturday, and I will chat with you a little bit tomorrow. So it's Monday morning, and I don't really drink coffee, but I did get myself a Keurig because I do enjoy chai lattes, and those aren't really something you can easily make at home. So I treated myself to this, and the kids also like it to get make hot chocolate because it is pretty early for a Sunday morning. So this is one of my new purchases, and my car died. I mentioned that I think the last time I did a vlogcast, and this is my new ride. It is a 2017 Chevy Cruze, and it is I love the color. It's blue, it's pretty, it's shiny. I have never had a brand new car before, and I am so excited about it, you guys. I can't even tell you. It's wonderful. It was a lot of debate about what kind of car I was going to get. Oh, you can see me filming in it. So there was a lot of debate about what kind of car I was gonna get, and this is what I ended up going for. And I love it, and I think it's gonna serve me really well. The kids love it, and yeah, I'm just excited. Come on, guys, off the road, come on, come on. There you go, that's it. So it's now Sunday evening, and I am settling in for the night. It was a really good morning of service. Everything went really well. My family came over from my hometown to my second church to listen to the sermon, and it was my mom and my grandpa and my aunt and my uncle. And so that was really nice to have them come and support me. They have been so wonderful and supportive through all of this. So that was really nice. And then after the church service, we went and had lunch at a little restaurant kind of nearby. Where I live, everything is like 10 or 15 minutes away. There isn't a restaurant here in this little town, so you kind of have to go a little ways to get something to eat. So we did that, and now I'm just settling in to do some knitting. I've started thinking about next week's sermon, because that's part of what I do after I relax a little bit and let my brain kind of finish processing the past week. And so now I'm going to knit some and catch up on some podcasts because I am ridiculously behind on podcasts. So I've kind of started to make Sundays be like my Scrappy Project day so that I can work on those Scrappy projects. So I am working on my Cozy Memories blanket. It is growing some. I haven't shown it on the podcast in a little while, but it's growing. And so I'm adding this square right here. This square is relatively new, and so is this one. And I just decided that I want to work on my scrappy blankets on Sunday because they don't really require a lot of thought, and my brain is pretty much fried by the time I get to Sunday evening. So I just kind of enjoy working on these and knitting through and knitting up some of the leftovers of yarn that I've got. So that's what I'm working on, and just gonna get caught up on some podcasts. It is Thursday, August 3rd, and it's pretty early still in the morning. I apologize for the just woken up look because I have just woken up. I haven't really recorded a whole lot this week. It's been a really personal and intense and emotional week so far. Things have been resolved that needed to be resolved, but it was still really difficult and didn't really come to the resolution I necessarily wanted, but there were more things to consider than just what I wanted in it. So that's taken care of, and it was a little frustrating, but we're moving on and we're moving forward. God is at work in all of it, and I might not fully understand God's plan at the moment, but it's there, and I will just have faith in that. It's being a little difficult to kind of let go of all of that and switch over into pastor mode, which I need to do because I do have sermon preparation that I need to finish that I have not gotten very much done of this week with everything going on. So today will be some working on sermon and doing some other things that I need to do. I'm just getting ready for the week, for Sunday, not the week, because the week's mostly over now. It's a gloomy day, which is a bummer. I was hoping to maybe take the kids to this putt-putt golf place this afternoon. Maybe it'll clear up and we can still go do that, but I wanted to do something special with them this afternoon. It's Thursday evening, and I have gotten some new kind of recording equipment for my phone. I'm not quite financially ready to invest in a camera for recording, so I got a little tripod and a little camera or a microphone for my phone to see if that can help with some of the audio quality of my recording. So I just wanted to give this a little try and see if maybe the audio was sounding a little bit better and working a little bit better. Morning, August 4th, and I usually take Fridays off, but because this week has been so stressful and so emotionally charged, I haven't been able to work on my sermon for Sunday very much at all. And so because of that, I am definitely going to have to do some sermon work today. But I'm still going to take it kind of easy today and not push myself a whole lot. I'm letting myself get to a kind of a late start. I'm going to spend a little bit of time this morning kind of catching up on some podcasts and knitting a little bit before I get started. And hopefully my sermon will come together and that'll be great and wonderful. And it'll come. I know it'll come. If anything I've learned, it's that you can't really push it very much or else it does not come. So I just have to be patient. So I'm going to knit some. Yesterday I did cast on, finally, my Patronus shawl. I'm not all that far on it. I'm still just on the first color. But this is the beginning of it. Oh, I have the wrong side. This is the beginning of the Patronus shawl. Sorry about the weird lighting. It's like really rainy here and I've got a lamp right next to me. And so this is the Patronus shawl. This is the first color. I'm using the kits from Nora George Yarn, which are beautiful and amazing. And the colorway, it's Harry and James's Stag. So this is the first color, the speckled color. And then this is going to be the contrast color, which is kind of like a mahogany. It's just, they just pair beautifully together. So I'm really excited about this project and this knit. It's really intuitive and really, really simple, and it's knit on the bias, so you don't end up with like 8 million stitches on it. So that's going to be wonderful. But I don't think that's what I'm going to work on this morning. I think this morning I'm going to work on my Zanone top, which I've got all of the lace done now. I'm just working on the body and joining it together, and then it'll just be stockinette around. So I think that's what I'm going to work on this morning, and I would really like to get the body joined together today. And yeah, so I'm going to do that, and then I will hopefully get this little vlogcast edited and put together. I hope you like the new setup with the microphone. I think it's going to work out a lot better. I'm kind of glad I spent a little bit of money and got this little extra for the podcasting, because I think my audio was a little bit of a problem before. So hopefully this will work out a little bit better, and I will get this up for you guys. And I will say, as I mentioned at the beginning of this vlogcast this week, I am kind of got the podcast on hold because I want to redo things a little bit with that. Probably give it a new name, give it a fresh start. I need to kind of put together how I want that to look, and then I'll get that back up and rolling. But in the meantime, I'll keep going with these little podcasts, which will be found still under Novels and Needles. And yeah, I just think I need to make a few little changes with some stuff. So no big deal. I know I feel like I've been kind of all over the map with this, but it's how my life has been. And now that I'm settling into what is going to be my new normal, I feel like my podcast should probably reflect that a little bit. And the old podcast was kind of the old way, and I think this is a new chapter in my life, and so maybe we need to have a bit of a new way. So if you have any thoughts or comments on that, please let me know. You can leave comments on the YouTube channel, or I will make sure in the down bar there's where you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry. If you want to send me a message, you can do that as well. So that is that. I hope everyone has a really nice weekend, and I will see you next week with a little bit more vlogcasting.